Parents, here is the number one thing that gets overlooked when developing reading skills. So, what do you do if your child's phonemic awareness is not where it needs to be? Well, it's one of the easiest to correct at home. All right, all you need to do is take some words and manipulate them and play with them and take them apart and put them back together. So, how do you do that? Well, if your child is really struggling, you should start with simple words like, let's start with a word like jam. Jam. First thing you want to do is stretch it. Jam. Jam. You can take any word, even longer words if you have a beginning reader, because they're not actually reading it, they're just listening to the sounds. You can take any word and stretch it out. Have your child mimic you and stretch it out with you. Jam. Listen to when they do it to make sure that they are including and not changing or leaving out any of the sounds in the original word. Struggling readers often leave sounds out when they stretch words or change them. The next thing you can do once they're comfortable stretching words out, you can break them or you can chop them apart into pieces. So for jam, it would sound like something like this. J, a, m, or j, a, m. That's how you need to break that word apart. Now, what are you listening for as far as mistakes? Well, I think it's easiest to say if they leave something out, add something in, or change something, that would be a mistake. And so you would need to show them how to do it and repeat it. But a big mistake that you might miss, and it's a super big mistake, would be adding in what's called a schwa sound. The schwa sound is instead of saying j and your child is saying ja am m. Do you hear that extra sound? For example, on the end of the letter J, j, it should be j. But a lot of children add an extra, what we call schwa sound, ja. Why do we do that? We all do it. I had to learn to not do it too, because some letters you really want to do it with. Um, they're usually quiet letters. We add that schwa sound on just to make it sound louder. So just let your child know that they've given you two sounds when there should only be one, and that you can hear them. You don't need to make it louder. I think common ones are like the sound for F, because that's so quiet, right? Everyone wants to say fa. And for H, that one's quiet too. Ha. And even the sound for P, it's just a puff of air. You don't need the pa with the voice on, pa. So you want to make sure that your child is making the correct sound for each letter and not adding a schwa sound onto the end of it. That makes it so hard to read later when they're making that schwa sound. So there's a lot more activities you can do with phonemic awareness. But I think, in my opinion, that one is one of the strongest ones that it really needs to be developed. Being able to break those words apart. That skill will also help with spelling. The second thing you can do is putting those words back together. So if you said to your child, j, and, they should be able to tell you that the word is jam. And again, you can do this with any word. If you're not sure if you're doing it correctly, let me know. I'll answer any questions. If you're looking for some word lists, you can search, and there are many teachers out there that have compiled lists. If you can't find one, let me know. I'll give you one. All right. I want to make sure that you have what you need to help your child. And be sure to ask me any questions or ask for any tips, advice. Ask me about different problems that your child might have reading or any concerns that you might have. I would love to answer any of your questions. And if this is all overwhelming for you and too new and you would like someone else to work with your child, just remember my classes are live on Outschool, and I usually remember to put the link in the description for each video. Sometimes I forget, but I usually remember. So please let me know if you would like me to work with your child or if you would like them to join one of my group classes on Outschool. And remember, I'm always here to answer any questions, and I'll see you tomorrow.